Hi guys, it's the Wiltshire Rider here, and tonight I thought I'd run through my Revit jacket and things I like and things I don't like about it. I've been promising for ages, and I've done a little part one on the bike in the pouring rain because I thought that's what everyone seems to do, so I'll do the same. So to start off with, here's the jacket in its entirety. I got it in black, although to me it looks like green. So we'll start off with, I've had it for around 2 years. I recently had to send it back in October because the arms started to leak around this area here, and I was getting little patches of rain on my arms. So I bought it through a company called Go Gear, or Get Gear, sorry, off the internet, and I emailed them, and they emailed me straight back on the same day saying, please send us back the jacket, we'll send you a label, send it back, we'll examine it, and then we'll let you know from there. So I got an email the next day with a label. I printed off the label, it was free post and packaging, and I wrapped the coat up, put the label on, sent it back, and then I got an email about 3-4 days later saying they received the coat and they were sending it to Revit. And then it took about 2 weeks for me to get another email saying that Revit have said yes, the coat leaks, and they were going to send me out a new one. And as I said, they sent me out a brand new one, complete with labels. So from that side, it was good. Unfortunately, the downside was that it leaked. But again, I've ridden with this one in torrential rain, and so far the Gortex seems to be holding out. I don't think any material is particularly 100% waterproof 100% all of the time. I think as it gets older it tends to lose some of it. You can actually wash these jackets on a cold wash with the knit wax wash, and then you can put the knit wax re-waterproofer in. Something I don't actually do, because on the inside you've got lots of seams, and although they're made to wash, I think that putting them through a washing machine tends to ruin the seams. It did on all my other older jackets that I've had. So what I'm doing with this one is, when it needs a clean, I tend to do it about every 4 months, is I gently scrub it with a sponge and some very light, not powder, it tells you not to use powder because little bits of powder get into the Gortex and the coating, and it stops it breathing and makes it leak. You have to use a liquid washing cleaner from the washing machine. So I just do a light solution of that with water and I give it a wash. And when I do this one again, I'll film it. And then also what I do then is I spray it. I buy the spray knit wax waterproofer. I spray it and then I stick it in the tumble dryer or let it dry in a warm room for about an hour. And that seems to make it really nice and waterproof again. So, I'm going to start off with, how does it fit? Now, this jacket is actually an extra large. I can't actually see the size. Where is it? You'll have to take my word for it. Is it down here? No, it doesn't say. But it is an extra large jacket. And I read the reviews and I did an extra large because everyone said go one size up. Now I'm around 5'7", 5'8", and I have around a 40 to 42 inch chest, and as you can see the jacket is quite snug. The arms are nice, the arms fit nicely. They do have adjustment to make them tighter, but that's as wide as they go. You've got this adjustment here, which to be honest I don't use, because as I say, you can make the arms tighter but you can't really make them any looser, but they're nice enough, they're comfortable for me. Same on this side. There's no air vent, but you do have these Velcro straps. The Velcro straps are okay, but I tend to wear my gloves underneath my jacket, and I do find sometimes it's a struggle to get the straps done up. They're not quite long enough with a pair of gloves underneath, but that's just my personal preference, the way I wear them. So that's okay. The neck is one of the things that I've got a beard, so it's hard to see, but I don't actually like the neck on this jacket. So I've got the interior lining in, and when I do the jacket up, it's quite snug. I don't know if you can see, but getting my fingers in there, it's quite a tight fit. So if you wear a jumper or a scarf, it tends to feel like it's strangling you. So I tend to wear a thin kind of bandana over the top of the jacket, and that's enough to keep the cold out. Without the lining in the summer, it's fine and you have it open anyway, but with the liner in, all I've got room for underneath is a very thin jumper. But I have to say, even in the coldest of weather, that is usually enough. I wear a thin jumper, I wear a t-shirt, and I've just got the liner in, and I find that enough. If it's any colder than sort of -1, -2, then I put an old yellow council jacket on top. But to be honest, that's very rare. It's only in about 2 years once in 2 years I've had to do that. And I find this jacket is warm enough with a jumper. But if you are slightly bigger than me, then I would recommend going up 2 sizes, not 1, because 1 size is quite snug. I actually like the way this feels. And I have a Varadero, as many of you know, so I'm quite upright, and it's not tight under the arms. It's not, when I've got my arms out straight, you can see the arms don't ride up, which is what I like. You don't get any kind of tightness around here, and there is a little bit of adjustability here, only tiny, but it's enough to make the jacket fit. And when I'm sat down, the jacket does cover my sort of bum, so it's quite nice, so I don't get any drafts up my back. So I quite like that side of it. Now, still looking at the outside of the coat, one thing I do not like, and it would have stopped me buying the jacket if I really knew before I bought it, is if you can see, the pockets are tiny. You've got the tiniest little zip. I did have a little kind of rope on this, but it's come off. But the pockets, I don't know if you can see them, are absolutely tiny. So if I lift that up, you've got the tiniest little clip there. And to get my hand in, my hands are sort of medium size, and you can't get a lot in these pockets. I was quite disappointed really, and I never realised until I took all the tags off and tried to put my keys in that you can't really get a lot in the pockets, so I tend not to use them because they're just a pain in the backside. And when you've got a jumper on, and if you, like me, and you wear a reflective stripe, it's really faffy to get your hands in the pocket. It looks fine here, but when you're out on the bike trying to get things in and out and your hands are cold, it's a real faff. So that is one thing that I really didn't like about this jacket, but I've learned to live with it now because the benefits of the jacket outweigh that. So it's got a Velcro seal and a zip, as you can see, and I found that completely waterproof, completely windproof. Don't have a problem with anything getting through that. And when you're riding the bike, it's easy to undo the jacket and just let some air in. And also for the summer, you've got these air vents, which I didn't actually think, I thought they were a bit of a gimmick. But you undo these on the front, and I'll show the ones in the back in a minute, and you undo the ones in the back, and without the liner in, you get a lot of air through these air vents. It's really, really good. I was quite surprised. On my bike, I've got a really good fairing, so if I want to get more air, I have to sort of go to one side and let the air come through, but you can actually feel it coming through the actual air vent there. And then when you close it, and you can do this while you're riding as well, it's quite easy because this actually has a chunky zip. You can just zip it back up again, and I've never had any rain get through there. Same this side, very easy to do. And this little press stud here is magnetic, so when you're riding you just get it somewhere in the vicinity and it sticks. It's really, really clever. I do like that bit. I do wish they had some on the arms, but I suppose that compromises the waterproofing. So apart from the pockets being too small and sometimes feeling like you're getting a bit choked with the collar, I find the jacket overall really comfortable. Now, on the inside of the jacket, you've got an inside pocket here, this there. You've also got your little Napoleon pocket here, and this is big enough to hold a mobile phone. I've got a Oppo mobile phone and it fits in there comfortably, and it's easy to get to when you've got the jacket on as well. So I'm really liking that pocket. The thing I do like about this is once you take the lining out, so to get the lining out, you undo that zip and you undo that popper, and then the same this side, you undo the popper and you undo this zip, and then you just pull the arms out. So inside the arms here you have some poppers, and you just unpop those, you pull the arm out, and then job done. Now, as you can see, I'm not going to take the liner out because I can't be bothered. This is a net lining, and it's really comfortable in the summer. It doesn't stick to you, it lets the air through, and it's really, really non-sticky. It's really good. I was quite surprised by that. And what I like as well, you've got another pocket here in the actual jacket when the liner's out, and you've also got a pocket here which lines up with the actual inner lining of the jacket as well. So plenty of pockets. I tend not to use pockets in mountain bike jackets because I just find it uncomfortable. You've also got a popper here, and you literally just undo it and you can take the lining out. Very easy to do, takes 2 minutes, and then you put it back in. The other thing about this jacket is the back pad. Doesn't come with the jacket. First of all, I was a little bit cheesed off about that, because the jacket itself was, as I say, I had it about 2.5 years ago. So this jacket was about 450, 460 quid. So I did expect it to come with a back pad, but it didn't. Now, the back pad is made to fit the jacket. It tells you there, it says C-Soft Type RV size 5. So you buy the right pad for the jacket. The back pad was 47 quid. So it's quite expensive, and it's an extra cost to think of when you're buying a jacket. I didn't actually realise, again, even though I'd done the research on the jacket, I didn't realise that the back pad comes separately. But I have to say, once I bought it, I was quite impressed with the thickness of it. It's very well layered. It's not your usual piece of crappy foam like you get in the cheaper jackets, and it's quite solid. You know, you can't dent it like a piece of foam, and it has all your CE marks and your safety EN162 stuff on it to say that it's up to a certain standard. And also, as you can see, hello, it's layered to let the air through. Now, when you feel it, it's quite tough, and I can imagine it would do a good job in the case of an impact. It's not too difficult to get in and out, as you can see. You just put it back in. You just got to be careful not to rip the liner, which is the same on any jacket. But because this one's made to fit the coat, it goes in quite nicely. It's not too much of a faff, considering how stiff it is. Now, that's the other thing to consider when you buy this jacket, is the size, because when you put this backpack in, as you can tell by how thick it is, it does take some of the room. So if you've bought it as a snug fit, and then you add this back protector after, you'll find the jacket suddenly quite tight. So this is why I would recommend going 2 sizes up. No matter what size you go for the 2 sizes up. Now, you've also got arm, if I can get it out, you've got shoulder protectors. Yeah, there they are. I thought they were sewn in. And these, the arm and shoulder protectors, do come with the jacket, and again, they're really solid. And again, you've got to be a bit careful getting them out and put them back in. This is also one of the reasons I don't actually put this in the washing machine, because it's a pain taking all this out and putting it back in again, even if it is relatively easy. And when I say relatively easy, I mean really fiddly. But again, you feel like you've got a good solid protector there. Yeah, it's quite flexible, it's quite bendy, but it's also quite thick, and I think that's quite impressive. That actually comes with the jacket, and you've got one in the elbows as well. So as to whether I would buy another one, apart from the issues with the pockets, I think I would. It's the first Gortex piece of clothing I've actually owned for a motorbike. I tended just to go with the cheapy stuff, but then I always found I was buying more cheap stuff, so eventually I succumbed and I read the reviews. The first review that actually made me look at this coat was Ryan F9 on Fortnite, and they were saying how good the jackets were. There's the pad there, nice. And then I looked at a lot of other reviews, and everybody was saying that for what they considered to be a mid-range price jacket, it was well worth the money. Now to me, although 450 quid might not be a lot, to me that's a kind of top end price jacket. I know there's jackets you can get that are about £1,000. Not sure I'd be prepared to pay that, but then I suppose they're laminated and the quality should be so much better. But I ride every day. I ride to and from work, and I ride on the weekend. And this jacket, apart from when I had to send it back because of the leaky bits, it has been brilliant. And to be honest, when I sent it back, the service was really good as well. There was no quibbling, no, sorry, we're not going to do it, you know, we can't prove that you didn't damage the jacket or anything like that. They just looked at it, said, yes, it does leak, and we'll send you a new one. So I was pretty happy with that, I have to say. So, as you can see, this is quite easy to put back in, like so. And I found in the summer, with the lining out, the jacket is quite cool. I used to wear a leather jacket, and that was a nice jacket to wear because it had a cotton liner in it, and it was quite cool to wear, as in temperature wise. So why can't I do that up? What am I doing wrong? Aha, there we go. So yes, it was quite a cool jacket to wear because of the cotton lining. But this one, without the liner in it, is a lovely cool jacket. And I wore it through that really scorching hot summer that we had for about 3 weeks, and it was good. It let the air through. Obviously you're still hotter than you would be without a jacket on, but there's no way I would ride a bike without any kind of protection. It might be a false protection, but it makes you feel safer. He says, trying to get this one in now. So pull that through. This is more to do with my faffy fingers than it is the coat being difficult. It's quite easy to do once your fingers decide to cooperate. That's it. And I like the press studs, the poppers, they're nice and easy to use. So I said to you about the air vents. You undo these on the front, lift that up. They're also secured by Velcro, stop the rain getting in, and then they're magnetised on there. So when you put them on, you can clip them in, and they're magnetised. And then in the back of the jacket here, you have a zip, and then that is also an opening to let the air through. And I have to say it does work. You can feel the air going through the jacket, and it does help keep you cool. You've got the Revit logo on the sleeve there, and you've got some poppers in the back here where you can adjust the jacket a little bit to pull it in or let it out. I don't really faff about with those. There are some reflective bits on the sleeves, but obviously my fairing gets in the way of that. There isn't any room for front protectors. There's no pockets or anything to have any protectors in the front. And actually the other thing that bothers me is because the top of the collar isn't actually zipped in, it's just a press stud. It is good, but it takes a while when you put it on to get that nice and comfortable around your neck. So just a few things to be aware of. As I say, it's a mid-range jacket according to what everybody says. It's around 480 quid now, and I found it a really good jacket, and when it did have a fault they replaced it with no problem. I've been out in some of the torrential rain we've had recently and the jacket hasn't let me down, and I'll probably wash it and recoat it around March. Then that'll be about the 4 months time. It's really worth doing. It does keep them nice and waterproof. The other thing about this jacket is once you put that back protector in, it suddenly becomes quite heavy. So again, I would reiterate, order 2 sizes bigger than you are, especially if you ride in the winter and you feel the cold and you want to put extra layers on. You will need it. Or you could even take the fleece out, the actual liner out, and you could put your own heated jacket on underneath, I suppose. That's something you could do. And then once you buy the back protector, just be aware that it makes the jacket tighter, because the back protector is quite thick. It feels good, it feels solid, and it does have some give in it, but it does still make the jacket feel quite snug. And also when you've got the back protector in, it's a heavy coat. It suddenly feels like a heavy coat. Now I don't mind that. I quite like things feeling quite heavy. It feels like you've got something on. But when you hang it up, you need a really good coat hanger. Or if you hang it by the little toggle, I can't imagine that toggle's going to last long with the weight of this jacket. It is quite heavy. And the last thing I love about this coat is when you are getting soaking wet and it's absolutely tanking down, when it does stop raining, this coat, whilst you're riding, dries out very, very quickly. I was quite surprised. I was out a couple of weeks ago, got absolutely, it was torrential rain. As I said, I didn't get wet, but the coat felt quite heavy with the rain. But it only took about 15 minutes for it to really start drying out when I was riding, when the rain stopped. And then when you take the coat off and hang it up, it does drip dry very quickly as well. So on the whole, yes, I would buy another one. If I had a slightly better budget for next time, I would buy a slightly more expensive one, maybe try and get a laminated one. This one isn't laminated, this is Gortex sewn in. But this is good. I ride usually for about an hour and a half a day, back and forth to work. And then on the weekends I ride 2-3 hours, sometimes more, sometimes less. And it hasn't let me down, so I'm really pleased with it. I'm glad I tried the Gortex. The other type of materials I've also used for waterproofing is Hydrotex, which I also find good, but the Gortex has the ability to dry out quicker. The Hydrotex takes a lot longer to dry out in my experience. So, if you're looking for a jacket, the Revit jacket is good. It fits snugly. It does have the zip in the back to zip up to your leather trousers. Again, if I can find it, there it is. So you've got the zip there which matches up with your leather trousers, and as I say, you can see with the back protector on, it's quite snug. I have got room for a jumper, but just think about it. If you're going to buy one, I would go 2 sizes bigger. I went 1 size bigger, and I actually quite like this, but any smaller it would be too small. Anyway guys, hope you have a fantastic Christmas, and here's for some new biking challenges next year. Try and do a few more videos out on the road. My bike's all up together now, all MOT'd, touch wood, everything's running and tip top. Be some more maintenance tips along the way I do it, and have a great Christmas. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.